Welcome back to Purpose Driven Church for Unificationists. We're on day 52. We're continuing the section on turning attenders into members. Rick Warren is talking about how to take a group of people who are attending your church and mold them into members of your congregation. So Rick Warren is now talking about a membership class. He says that a number of studies have shown that the way people join an organization clearly influences how they function in that organization after joining. This is true of joining a church as well. The manner in which people join your church will determine their effectiveness as members for years to come. I believe the most important class in a church is the membership class because it sets the tone and expectation level for everything else that follows. The very best time to elicit a strong commitment from your members is at the moment they join. If little is required to join, very little can be expected from your members later on. Saddleback's membership class is only 4 hours long and is taught in one day, yet it produces a high level of commitment in our membership because those who take the class find out exactly what will be expected of them as members. The strength of a membership class is determined by its content and call for commitment, not its length. For a number of reasons, I believe the senior pastor should teach this class, or at least a portion of it. The opportunity to see the pastor's vision for the church, feel his love for the members, and hear his personal commitment to care, feed, and lead them is very important to new members. And the rest of this area, he basically shares about practical tips on how um, how to create an effective membership class. He also goes into some questions that you should consider when putting together a membership class that you should answer. What is a church? What are the purposes of the church? What are the benefits of being a member? What are the requirements for membership? What are the responsibilities of membership? What is the vision and strategy of this church? How is the church organized? How can I get involved in ministry? And what do I do now that I am a member? So I think this is really interesting because when I think back to the stories that I've heard about, the movement in the past, the expectations were really quite high to join our movement. Um, I know that it's changed from time to time, but for many members who are still here now, they gave up everything. They moved into the center. They committed to fundraising and witnessing, and basically they committed their whole lives to God and to true parents. And I think that that's why, even though we have so many unfortunate things have happened in our movement over the years, so many of those members are still faithful and still here today. Whereas I think that in any other church, if we had many of these things have happened in our movement, a lot of people would have just left. So it really shows the degree that what he's saying is true and that your initial commitment is really, really important. Unfortunately, nowadays, I feel like there really isn't much expected. We're so almost desperate for new members and witnessing results that we put very little expectation of commitment on people. But and that's probably not the case everywhere, but something that I've noticed. And so I hope that we can find a balance, definitely. Um, why he goes on to say why do so many churches find it difficult to motivate members to give, serve, pray, and share their faith? The answer is that the members were allowed to join with no expectation placed on them. You get what you ask for. He talks about there's two different kinds of commitment. There's a commitment to God, and there's a commitment to one another. He said Jesus said that our love for each other was to be the mark of discipleship. I believe it is an indictment of Christianity that most believers can quote John 3:16, but they can't quote 1 John 3:16. This is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for our brothers. When was the last time you heard a message on this verse? Most churches are silent about developing that level of commitment to each other. We are commanded to love each other, pray for each other, encourage each other, admonish each other, greet each other, serve each other, teach each other, accept each other, honor each other, bear each other's burdens, forgive each other, sing to each other, submit to each other, and be devoted to each other. All these commands are what membership in the local body of believers is all about. That's pretty cool. So anyway, he finalizes by talking about the membership covenant and how everyone who goes to membership class signs a membership covenant. He says the essence of church membership is contained in the willingness to commit to a membership covenant. They even give an example of what the membership covenant looks like. Um, he says at Saddleback, we have 4 requirements for membership. 1, a personal profession of Christ as Lord and Savior. 2, baptism by immersion as a public symbol of one's faith. 3, completion of the membership class. And 4, a signed commitment to abide by Saddleback's membership covenant. I urge you to prayerfully prepare and adopt a membership covenant in your congregation if you don't have one. It can revolutionize your church. So going forward, it's important to think about, when new people come, what are we going to have expectation of them? What kind of expectations are we going to have of them? Are we just going to say, hey, yeah, join us, we're glad you're here, and help out with things every once in a while, and if you tithe or if you give, it'd be great? Or are we going to have actual expectations of people, and are we also going to lay out um, the, the, the benefits of them being a part of our community, and so on and so forth? Are we going to do it purposefully and thoughtfully, or haphazardly? So these are some things that I'm thinking about as I read this. So I hope you got something out of that too, and I'll see you tomorrow.